Sorry, are we live? Huh? Are we on?
Oh, I don't know. You're enjoying your daily paper here.
I am, actually. I'm
going old school.
You're new school.
Hey, well, I'm reading some interesting stuff here, too.
Is that how you read your news?
Absolutely.
I actually read the paper. I think we talked about this last time we got together.
Last week.
Because I got a digital subscription, but they also provide me with the paper one. Hey, my kids have a hamster, so what else do you put in the cage? I mean, so it actually serves a dual purpose. So you may look at me as sort of old school in a way, reading this print edition of the Wall Street Journal. But
plus, you're just old.
I am old, but the reality is that I'm getting the same information you are, and I'm recycling this. Putting it to good use. So
well, we're going to talk about
my hamster Dumpling is very happy. So
Dumpling?
Dumpling's the name of the hamster.
Shout out to Dumpling Daughter in Weston. By the way, speaking about recycling, we'll talk about a little bit about recycling today. So welcome, everyone, to this week's Actifio On-Tech. It is Thursday, July 19th, 2018. Peter Ross back in the hot seat again from last week. We didn't scare him away.
Yeah, great to be here.
He's back. He loves it.
Thanks for inviting me back, Jason.
I think he wants to come be like the third guy when Jay comes back.
Yeah, when Jay comes back, he may not have the seat anymore.
Ooh, Jay, sorry, man.
Jay, hope you're watching from that riverboat.
Enjoy.
We miss you.
So, Actifio On-Tech, you know what we do here. We have a beer. Talk about some 4 latest technology news topics or trends.
Yeah.
And we have some fun.
Yeah, a little Thirsty Thursday.
A little bit. Thirsty Thursday. So this week, courtesy of our own Erica Tran, she went to Portland last weekend. She picked us up some Bissell Brothers Substance Ale.
That's Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine, yes.
Not Portland, Oregon.
No, Portland, Maine. Right.
The original Portland.
The one and only in my heart and mind, to be honest.
Portland. If you're from there, that's what you'd say. Right, Erica? Yeah.
Portland. Get some lobster, right? All right, so we're going to crack this guy.
It's their flagship IPA.
Yes, so thank you, Mr. Gio.
Hey, no problem.
Bissell Brothers Substance is their flagship IPA.
Why
Which
did you
glass
roll
is
that,
yours?
by the way? I've
Which
never seen that. I think this one was mine.
All right. In case any sediment grows on the side of the can or the bottom,
Okay.
you just want to mix it all together first.
So you don't shake it. You.
No, yeah, just give it all the good flavor, all the good mix, make the beer what it's supposed to be.
Get the haze going.
Exactly,
Right.
get some of that haze going. That we all know.
And get the
love.
conversation flowing.
Well, exactly. And this is why we
Right.
have him on, folks.
That's right.
I mean, where do you get that? Where else can you get that kind of content, spur of the moment like that?
That is right. You just sort of flow. You go with the flow, really, or you go with the pour.
We're just free flowing.
We absolutely are. Actually, I had the pleasure of going to Jack's Abbey Brewery last night. I'd never been there before. Pretty impressive facility in Framingham, Massachusetts.
Which one was yours now? Sure.
It was the front one. It was closer to the mic.
All right, cool.
Cheers. Don't worry, I don't have cooties.
All right, I'll trust you on that one.
Delicious.
It's good. It is good. It's low. It's all ABV. It's just an ale, so it's not an IPA. So 6.6 alcohol by volume. For an ale, that's actually not too bad. That's actually pretty good beer. Not gonna lie. I like it. All right.
So far, so good.
So you have the honors again as the guest. What is the first topic you want to talk about this week?
Well, it was one of the key headlines I read about in my print edition of the Wall Street Journal, but also you can see it all across the internet because arguably who's the biggest player on the internet? It's the place that we all start our day, no matter what you're doing, whether you're reading news, shopping for a car, or looking for your next enterprise data management software solution.
Wait, Actifio.com.
Oh, Actifio.com, that's right. Or some people actually go to Google.com. So they go in that Google search bar. They basically give away any privacy they thought they had. And as a result, Google knows everything they possibly can about each and every one of us, about what our preferences are, who we're emailing, what we're searching, what we're reading, what we're not reading, what we're forwarding on to our friends. And for better or worse, the European Union doesn't really like that very much. So I don't know if you saw the headline, Jason.
I did see
They
it.
fined them a very small sum of $5 billion.
5 billion euros.
Was it 5 billion euros?
Yeah.
So that's actually even more.
Yes.
So it's an extraordinary amount of money. But in Google dollars, probably not that much. So what I'm told, it equates to roughly 5% of the cash they actually have on hand.
I think that says it's about 2 weeks worth of revenue for Google.
So that's
not that much.
Google sneezes, 5 billion euros comes out.
Right. But it's interesting because it harkens back to the whole Microsoft antitrust case they had against the U.S. back in the late 90s, right? When Microsoft was you know, with as part of Windows, you had to have Internet Explorer on there, right?
Yep.
And that was a big thing. Microsoft had to break that apart. Actually led to almost the death knell of Internet Explorer in that case. In this case, it's a little different because Google has already established that from a search perspective, they have 90% of the market share. And with Chrome, that's at like 60% of the market share from a browser perspective. So I don't think this will necessarily paralyze the company like it did Microsoft. And like you said, it's kind of just like, oh, they'll just you know, shrug off that couple $1 billion. But the biggest thing that it has done actually is in terms of, I think, Android phones, right? So the biggest thing is that, and with any Android phone today, the phone manufacturer has to, by default, because if you want Google Play on it, which everyone does, you need to have Google Chrome as the default browser and search as the default, Google Search as the default search. But there's actually two versions of Android. There's the freeware version, which doesn't have that on there, and then there's the production version. And so in this case, what's going to happen is phone manufacturers now will be able to have the choice to not actually not have those be the default search and browser extensions for Android phones. So that would make things a little bit different.
A little more freedom. And I think to your point, it's actually, that's the key takeaway for me is that, is this going to stop Google? Is it going to slow them down? Probably not. No. I think essentially what it does is just makes it a little more expensive for them to do business in the EU.
Right.
And elsewhere.
And it gives phone manufacturers a little bit more flexibility if they want to do it.
Right.
And then potentially they won't.
Right.
Some might, some might not.
But it does send a signal to them that, look, you know, the European Union at least would like to see more competition as it relates to search functionality and other applications. So something to look out for. And I guess at least Big Brother isn't always looking after us, right?
Yeah, it probably still is.
Yeah. What can you say? $5 billion later, or 5 billion euros later.
Pocket change.
So it looks like, sorry to kind of take a sidebar in this conversation, but it looks like we have a guest who's trying to get into the studio here. Do you see a guest coming in?
I do.
I do see a guest.
I'm scared, actually, though.
So anyone who's dealt with managing massive databases has had to deal with what? The database beast, right?
Yes.
And this beast has to be tamed, and there's very few ways in which to do it. So brace yourselves. I'm a little scared. I'm not.
I don't know what's going to happen right now.
I don't either. But I'm going to invite the big database beast onto the set to see what big database beast, he or she, this. Hey, database beast, how are you? Oh yeah. Oh, that hurt. I feel like I'm in a redo of The Revenant. I just hope this database beast doesn't totally attack me. Oh, the database beast is going to sit down now. Okay, I didn't expect.
We watch out for the beer.
Yeah, easy.
No
database
beer
beast.
for the beast.
You know what I find weird about the database beast? He, she, beast is not wearing pants. He has a T-shirt, but no pants.
Do you want to switch seats with me?
I'm happy that you're kind of in between us.
Oh, jeez.
So, very furry, very friendly. Database beast, would you like to wave hello to our viewers? So, database beast, when you can't manage a massive database, do you cheer with joy or do you sort of cry? Like, what do you? Yeah, it's sad, right? It's sad. So, there's very few things that you can. Maybe you can clone the database using, let's say, something like Actifio, right?
Database Beast likes that?
Yeah, Database Beast does like that. That's why we like Database Beast. I just hope Database Beast does not get hungry while we're talking today.
Well, that's why I want to switch seats, too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Database Beast, I don't know if you would mind, but do you think maybe you want to go get something to eat? Maybe you could, a little hungry? Something in the belly? Thank you so much, Database Beast. You're very sweet and furry. We love you. We thank you for visiting us today. Database Beast, go get something nice to eat, but just don't eat any Actifians, okay? Maybe. Oh, Database Beast is scaring me now. Thank you for visiting.
This is what we do here at Actifio On-Tech,
Put some pants on, Database Beast. You're embarrassing me.
So, speaking of money, we just talked about 5 billion euros. When you're a 5 billion euro company, probably some rich people working there.
Maybe
a few.
With those Google bucks.
Yeah, those Google bucks pay for a lot. So, as an employee of Google, when you buy your Bugatti Veyron at $1.5 million, what I found that was interesting is that there's a little bit of a surcharge when it comes to your oil change.
You don't pull in a Jiffy Lube?
You do not pull
with a coupon?
I don't think you can pull into a Jiffy Lube.
You definitely do not.
You probably hurt someone, yeah.
So, take a guess. I hope did you see the number already?
No, I didn't.
All right, so take a guess. How much do you think an oil change on a $1.5 million Bugatti Veyron costs?
How frequently do you have to do it? Is it every few thousand miles?
It's I'm guessing it's probably synthetic oil, so probably every 5K to 10K
Okay.
miles.
Ballpark, I'd say your Bugatti owner, 1.5 million. I want to say $500 to change the oil.
You're a little off.
A little off.
High, low.
You're a little low.
Can you do it yourself? Get under there and.
You cannot do it yourself. Well,
Does it have a dipstick
if
so I can
you-
see when to do
If
it?
you are a mechanic with a lift and specialized tools, you could do it yourself.
Oh, you could.
Yes.
So, what is the
But
total? What's the damage?
Well, before we go into this, let's talk about what it takes. So,
By the way, are you thinking of getting one of these cars? Is that why you're looking into this so much, Jason?
I did just buy a new car.
A Bugatti?
Yeah, I'm getting paid well at Actifio. No, I actually just picked up a used car yesterday, an Audi S4.
Oh, congratulations!
So, joining the Audi S4 club at Actifio, there's a few of us here that have them
Nice.
already.
Join the Audi
Yeah,
family.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, you have one too. You have the
I do.
SUV.
Yeah. Yeah.
And our HR manager, Lily, has the SUV as well. She has a Q5, you have the Q7, right?
Yep. And Jay has.
Jay has an S5. Our CISO, CISO, he has an S4. Another engineer has an S4. So
Get it in orange. It'll be truly an Audi.
that would just be
Actifio.
ostentatious. Maybe
Yeah.
my Lamborghini when I get one day. I'll get that in orange.
Audi, if you are watching, let's say if the CIO of Audi is watching, we're a big customer. We'd love to meet with you at some point.
Absolutely. Get him on Actifio On-Tech. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
He, she, whoever the CIO is, we'd love to meet.
Whoever you are. So anyway, what it takes to do this oil change first and foremost is that you have to put the car on a lift
Yeah.
because it uses the dry sump oiling system with 16 different drain plugs. Your car
16?
has your car has one drain plug. My car has one. Your car has one drain plug. This car has 16 different drain plugs to start. But you can only get to them by removing the underbody of the car.
Oh, man.
So you need to put it on the lift and remove the whole underbody of the car just to get to the drain plugs. But there's more. In order to fill the car with oil after you've already drained it, you need to remove the car's rear fender liners and rear deck.
So
you need to
basically,
take the
you're taking
back of
apart
the
the
car.
car.
You
You're
have to
taking the undercarriage out.
And the back of the car off, basically.
This makes no sense.
To do an oil change and change the cabin air filters.
Did these
On a
engineers?
$1.5 million car. Like,
It should be really easy, right?
wouldn't you think it'd be
Yeah.
like lickety split, nice and easy?
Yeah.
You shouldn't even run on oil, you know?
Yeah, exactly, right? They figured out a new way to do it.
Yeah. And so, your guess was what? $500?
Yeah.
$21,000.
21,000 to change the oil.
$21,000.
Now I'm thinking that's kind of
oil
low,
change.
considering you have to take the car apart.
Right.
Now, how do you put gas into this car? Do you have to take the hood off? Like, how do
Yeah, right.
you, right? Yeah.
It's ridiculous, right?
That is obscene. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Like, why would the engineers? I would love to have a Bugatti engineer sit here with us at some point and explain
Yeah, seriously.
why that is the process.
I agree.
Makes
agree.
absolutely no sense. But hey,
agree.
if you got a Bugatti, you have $21,000
It's
to
not, probably not. It's like
throw
pocket
out the
change.
window,
It's like
probably.
Google pocket change, right? 2 weeks worth of
throw it
income.
out the window as you're driving down the street.
Now, just to relate though, that 21,000 is about 1.4% of that base 1.5 million. So to bring it into kind of our world, if you had a $20,000 new car, your oil change would cost you $280,
Which is still really
which is
high.
ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
Percentage-wise.
really high.
Ridiculous.
Right. So even though it's 1.4% of that car,
Yeah.
when you think about it in kind of our layman's terms,
Oh wow.
still kind of
That's
ridiculous.
sort of obscene.
I agree.
That's like a bad joke.
Right.
Bad joke.
So, anyone out there getting a Bugatti Veyron, or if you have one, I don't know, man. More power to you, I guess. But that oil change is just crazy. So, I'll never experience it in real life. And honestly, I don't really want to.
Yeah,
I can
think
find
so.
a lot
Not
better
the
things
most
to spend
practical. Especially
$1.5
here,
million
especially
on.
here in New England.
Yeah, yeah.
You could probably drive that
destroy
car
it.
about 1 week out of the year.
Yeah, you got to drive in like Texas, where it's Florida, where it's flat.
Yeah,
you know?
flat, dry,
Yeah.
roads are clean.
Cali.
California, nice weather.
Yeah.
Can't have salt on the roads, would destroy that
No,
car.
just wreck it. Well, yeah. So, I guess I'll never know. And honestly, like I said, with $1.5 million, I'd probably buy something else.
I would.
Actually, I'd buy a lot of other things.
Yeah,
with
right.
that money.
Buy a lot of mutual funds, actually.
All right, take us back to the old world of newspaper here. What's in there?
Oh, so the other, speaking of bad jokes, Netflix is really kind of centering a lot of their content development around comedy content. So I don't know how much Netflix, I think we talked about it last time we got together.
Well, yeah, we talked about how I don't have Netflix to begin with.
Right. So what they're doing now is they're the first streaming service now expanding into radio streaming, and they're partnering with SiriusXM.
Okay.
So if you've seen any Netflix whatsoever, what they're doing is they're outbidding a lot of the other services, like HBO, for example, and buying sort of the top-notch comedy talent. Chappelle, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer. And they're attracting them over to their content and they're partnering with SiriusXM on radio content called Joke Radio.
Joke Radio.
On SiriusXM. So they're starting to promote a lot of these artists and these comedians on their streaming service through the radio platform.
So they're just going to replay these comedy shows that they put on Netflix on Sirius?
I don't know if they're going to replay them, but I think they're going to use it as a promotional vehicle. Maybe they'll interview these comedians. Maybe they'll give you teasers.
Maybe a mix of content, right?
Exactly.
Do a bit or two from a show, have the artist on, et cetera, et cetera.
So they're practicing kind of, I think what you'd say is best of the best in terms of content marketing. We always joke around that you take one content asset and make 15 assets out of it, right? You don't just take this print article and send it to all your friends. You put it online, you make a white paper, you make a webinar, you make a video. Now they're making a radio show. Who knows what's next? A podcast?
Right.
But the idea is I think they're just extending their content reach because they realize, you know, everyone on the planet is consuming content in a different way, whether it's through video or people walking around with their earbuds in, or you're in the car and you can't watch a video. Maybe you're going to listen on your XM radio. But the idea, I think, is they're getting smart as they're starting to kind of branch out beyond just their classic video streaming service.
I like the idea of them branching out. I think it's a great idea, and it's just a way for them to expand their portfolio and diversify their assets. I'm not sold on the Joke Radio concept, though.
Well, I think they're really trying to leverage all of this investment. I mean, Chris Rock, for 2 specials, I think that's 2 hours of content. Do you know how much they paid him?
No.
You made me guess on the Bugatti oil change.
How much did guess?
How much did they pay him for 2 one-hour specials?
$1 million.
Oh, you are way off. Let's put it this way. They doubled the bid that HBO put out there. It was $40 million.
What?
$20 million per episode.
What?
Yes. Read it right here.
Might have a Bugatti Veyron.
I'll give you this when we're done talking today.
Are you kidding me?
I kid you not. 2 hours, $40 million.
I'm blown away by that.
So
I was blown away.
So they have to get a return on that investment, right?
Not funny.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty funny.
I was blown away.
I liked him in Madagascar.
I only watch dad with kids.
I know animated movies, kids. That's what I get to see. I don't get to see. I don't get to see.
If you watch some of his
any
old stuff,
real,
it is pretty funny. I agree.
Real movies.
Like I love Chappelle's stuff. I used to love Chappelle's show. I have the DVDs. I rewatch them once in a while.
He's incredible.
Love that.
And
his
Schumer,
comedy shows are great.
She's very edgy.
But
very edgy.
So it's a 24-hour network, right, on the radio.
That's right.
And so I just wonder how they're going to fill those 24 hours.
On Joke Radio? I don't. Right now, I mean, SiriusXM already has 3 other.
Oh, they do?
Yes, stand-up comedy. They play a lot
so
of
there's some competition too there.
Yeah,
then.
on their own network.
Right, but still, that's going to compete. Now those 3 will compete with this.
Who knows? But maybe people get exclusive content of Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle or Schumer. Or
True,
whoever else they're attracting.
If they've got the agreements for those specific shows, then absolutely.
People are going to dial in for that, right?
Right, and they'll be able to just play it exclusively on that Joke network. They can't play them on the other 3.
Who knows? Maybe next they'll come out with a print edition of Netflix. You know, the Netflix newspaper.
That would be taking it back.
Who knows?
Maybe they'll ship.
We're going to go full circle.
Maybe they'll ship DVDs again.
I think vinyl's coming back too. So you never know what media is going to be sort of the popular platform of the day. Just when you thought it was dead, vinyl's back.
I love vinyl.
Vinyl is popular.
I think Devin was buying her dad a record player.
Really?
Yeah, crazy.
There you go.
Devin's our intern. So.
Yeah, Devin's our marketing intern this summer. She's doing a great job.
And you know what? She seemed the database beast, the bear.
There was a close resemblance.
Yeah, I kind of maybe they're related. I don't know.
It might be.
I don't know.
Devin, you got a secret to share with us?
Yeah.
Maybe you should come on the next Actifio On-Tech.
Yeah, Devin, you're always invited. Always invited to join us.
All right, last topic. So this one's not necessarily like technology news, but I found it very, very interesting. And we've talked about on the show before about the recycling and the environment and things like that. But what I found was that scientists at Washington State University have found a way to turn trash into concrete. So instead of using cement, which is a very invasive process, which uses sand as well as oil and this whole mixing process, and which actually causes emissions of about 5% of the carbon emissions in the world each year.
Just producing cement.
They found a way to use trash to produce cement instead. And it's a very it's not like your food particles and your recycling cans. It's a very specific kind of trash. It's called coal fly ash. So coal fly ash is a waste product that stems from coal-based electricity generation. So you're burning coal, you have a big power plant, right,
Yeah.
to do that.
No relation to Ashutosh?
No relation to our CEO.
Okay, just checking.
I
want to call him Coalfly Ash.
See what he said?
That'd be a cool nickname for him. I don't know.
Cool fact.
Co-founder of Actifio. Hey, Coalfly Ash. Who knows? Maybe he'll like it.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
You can do it, though.
I'll let you try first.
No way. You came up with the idea. So anyway, but essentially this coal fly ash is a waste product that stems from burning coal. And obviously it is a pollutant. And what happens is that this coal fly ash traditionally just ends up in landfills. So it is trash because it's in a landfill. But what these Washington State University scientists have done is really cool, is essentially by taking the coal fly ash and just changing the molecules of it. So it's a scientific process with an agent, and the agent is sodium silicate. So by changing the molecules of this coal fly ash, mixing it together with this sodium silicate, it creates concrete. And this concrete that they've created is a porous concrete. So they feel like the application for it would be groundwater removal. So essentially what they've found is that this could help with things like replenishing groundwater, because I guess groundwater depletion is a common problem across the U.S.
Yep.
So pretty cool. So not necessarily building buildings with it yet, but they feel like with a few more modifications, they can actually use this concrete for a more construction-like purpose as opposed to just the groundwater purpose.
Right.
Make a non-porous concrete, right, or make a semi-porous concrete to be able to be used for building applications. But I think it's a great thing, right? The more that we can take waste and turn it into something, recycle it for something great, I'm all about that. I feel like that's a great thing. So I was excited to read this, and
I
I'm
agree.
excited to see how it continues.
No, but I think the cool thing about that too is that especially living in kind of a coastal community here in the Boston area, is that concrete requires so much sand consumption that there are places in the world that are actually shrinking because they're selling their sand for concrete production. So if you can imagine some coastal community countries, islands that are actually getting smaller and smaller because they're selling this natural resource for the purpose of making more and more concrete for more building purposes, more construction. The idea here is to take this coal fly ash out of landfills, positive, keep sand intact, so countries that are on the water, that are now dealing with rising water levels
and
erosion will be able to handle it much more effectively. This is a big one. So Washington State University,
Yes.
you said?
Yep.
Okay, so I was wondering if it was a private company
No, it's
that
actually a
invented this
university
process.
that did it. And I think
who knows if they'll monetize this,
and back to your point about the coastal communities here, I mean, every winter we see Plum Island and like the Cape, for example, their beaches are shrinking.
The Vineyard,
because
Nantucket,
of the erosion of the sand from those winter storms, right?
Right.
So if we can use the sand that we've been using for cement creation, for concrete creation, we can use that to replenish our shores.
Yep.
I mean,
do the dredging, put it back onto the islands,
it's a win-win.
so they can withstand the erosion. I agree. And especially around summertime. It'd be much nicer to go to those islands. More beach to hang out on.
Yeah, less crowded for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree. Cool. Well,
how are you liking the beer? I've enjoyed it.
I like it. It's not as juicy or hazy as a traditional Treehouse or Trillium or even Bissell Brothers IPA, but sometimes you want something a little lighter, you know? So I feel like this is a good kind of beach beer, barbecue picnic beer, right? Pool day beer, because it's semi-low ABV. It's not like a 3 or 4% like a Miller Lite, but still low enough where it's like a 9% double IPA, and it's got a light flavor to it, not much bitterness.
Sure.
So I enjoy it.
Yeah, I like a little taste of Maine for me. I like that we're kind of marching around New England,
We're trying to.
Where was it? Where's our last one from?
Our beer last week was...
Curiosity 50 last week.
No. Yes, we did. You're
Okay,
right.
so what's
That was
next? We gotta
Treehouse.
hit Rhode Island, maybe. Geo,
Well,
bring
Geo-
us some taste of Rhode Island back.
Yeah, bring you some stuff.
We need some Tilted Barn.
We can do Tilted Barn. We can do
No, I
Proclamation.
know, but I said we want Tilted Barn.
I think by the end of the summer.
Tilted Barn. It's freaking amazing.
No, but by the end of the summer, okay, if we're hitting Maine,
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to Vermont. Are you going with Dr. Myers up to
If I
Vermont?
can get on the plane, if I can take it, I'm up there.
Right.
So I mean, Vermont.
We should do this live stream from his plane, flying up to Burlington.
We're live.
We're live.
What do you need to pick up? Some
Foam. We
So we got foam.
Foam brewing from up there.
Foam or
the Alchemist.
Maybe Alchemist.
Foam or Burlington Beer Company, BBCO. They have some
Nice.
good beers. Then I think Connecticut, we've got Nebco, New England Brewing Company, which has some good beers like Fuzzy Ducks, Double Fuzzy Baby Ducks.
Yep. Fuzzy Baby Ducks. Love
Yeah,
these
that's what
names.
it's called. Yeah, yeah. They've got Imperial Stout Trooper in
Nice.
there as well.
That's
I don't know
cool.
about New Hampshire though. Like there's a Red Hook in New Hampshire.
Red Hook.
There's a Red Hook brewery in New
I know
Hampshire.
it's there.
Yeah.
Hampton Beach Light.
New Hampshire is not a big brewery. Yeah, hey, well,
Gio liked that one.
So
Oh, cheers
if
to
you're
that
watching
one,
this in the
you know.
comments,
Cheers.
if you're watching this in the comments,
Cheers.
and you know a good New Hampshire brewer, let us know because I'm
Yeah.
not really sure about New
I haven't
Hampshire.
heard of any like any craft breweries out of New Hampshire.
There's
that
gotta
are-
be one
that
or
are-
two.
I mean, there definitely are, but I haven't heard of anything that's honorable mention.
Yeah.
No, I agree. All right. Well, anyways, Peter Ross, again, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Jason, thank you.
Um,
Always great to be here. Thank you again for sharing your beer and having a great conversation.
welcome. Next week, I'm actually on vacation.
Oh.
So you could do the trifecta 3 weeks in a row with
Yeah.
Jay. Because Jay will be back from
Oh,
his...
Jay's going to be back?
He'll be back from his European vacation.
So which seat do I get? The guest seat or the host seat?
Well, I mean,
gonna be a
you've
tough
done 2 in a
discussion.
row, so you might be the host.
He could be coming back speaking German or French or wherever he is.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Austrian?
How do you say yes in German?
Danke? No, that's thank you.
Oui, oui.
Guten Morgen? That's good morning. I don't know how to say yes.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, Wiedersehen. Volkswagen. Waffennugen.
Howdy.
Howdy.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great week, and keep enjoying the summer here in New England.